Hello, this is Cotton Stoops, and in today's Loomian Legacy video, I'm going to be showcasing Florant, specifically the Flychomp variant. Florant, admittedly, I've been really harsh on this Loomian, specifically because, well, for one thing, ice types are super common, and its weaknesses like Brawler, Fire, and oh my god, so much more, but they're all common in this metagame, not to mention that plant types right now, at least competition wise, is mainly filled by Lashent, Totab, Nevermare, Soulburst Gasstroke, and honestly, if you're gonna have like Florant over any of them, you have to like build a really good team in order to help stop it. But yeah, this showcase is going to be mainly about Soulburst Florant, and let's just get right into it. I'm going to be going some voiceovers and analysis of some of my matches, letting you guys know how I use Soulburst Florant, and of course the team compositions at the end of the video. Alright, as per usual, I'm going to be going over for a voiceover so I can give more analysis in my plays. I'm going up against JK Hawk I Joe, or J-Hawk Joe, whatever. But first thing I thought of was bringing Luminami for the Chienta. Of course, needed to bring the Florant because it's the showcase. Dragonin kind of helps for the Dokomori and Garlash. Hunter and Metatoad. Hunter is mainly for late game just because it is a V-Nimble Hunter, and Metatoad kind of just goes in on the team. Other than Mariel, of course. So I did get the right lead here. I don't know what I was expecting from their lead, but I think that was a good lead. Oh wait, I was expecting the Weaslin lead. I didn't want Trader to set off. And then they go up going Chienta, and in which case I did Mega Chomp. So that's pretty good for me. I wasn't actually expecting the Chienta to come in. I thought Stratosaur would come in, and I didn't want Stratosaur to get a resisted hit on, but for some reason Chienta lives, and then Luminami is the Loomian I'm going to come in. It's the most safest one. Hopefully that didn't daze. So I thought the Chienta was going to swap here. If I'm looking at his team right now, there really isn't a lot of swap-ins other than Dokomori, in which case I just flash and flee. And then what I do go into is I go into Metatoad, if I do recall, simply because Metatoad against the team kind of looks pretty decent. I would go Dragonin just for the safety of immune to earth, not being weak to earth, but it does more damage to Mariel, which is mainly what I'm concerned about. The Mariel, if it does get a few peace of minds and ups, it's gonna sweep the team. Florant is of course for that reason. I'm gonna parasitize here simply because I don't want to risk another play here. Mariel really needs to die. Dokomori comes in, which I think I do get a decent amount of HP back. Of course, Baneful Bash is going to come out, or a Baneful or a Baffle. I go Metatoad again, because why not? Okay, so they go Ice Cold Trap here. Actually, looking at my team, this is pretty scary, but I managed to play around the Ice Cold Traps pretty well. The Psycho Blast comes out. I don't think anything that other than Mariel actually wants to swap in and continue to swap in, but alright, so Dokomori chooses to sack itself. Not bad, I'd say. I'd say this is a little bit better for him considering the Dragonin now doesn't have like a solid swap in all the time, but Ice Cold Traps are up. I guess that's fair. So they end up going the Mariel here. I think when I was doing this play, I just wanted to frick it. We're staying in. I didn't want to take the Ice Cold Trap damage on the Florant. Of course, I do go Florant here if I do recall. I should. Yeah, I go Florant here. I don't really care about the Ice Cold Trap damage because I can just heal it off with Parasitize or Photosynthesis. And I always outspeed Mariel, and Jolt won't do enough, so I end up Parasitized for the damage. Weaslin does come in, which is honestly a weird play by them. I wouldn't really expect this. So Photosynthesis is up now, and they end up doing a pretty funny play, in my opinion. They health gift. So this was like a Shackles Weaslin, and then they health gift into Chienta. Admittedly, that was actually a pretty nice play. I mean, Chienta couldn't swap in anymore, so there you go, I guess. Although I'm gonna Maroon here. I'm predicting the Muriel to come in. Oh, not the Muriel. The C.B.O to come in. If I'm really looking at my team, as of right now, I don't think none of them want to deal with C.B.O other than Hunter, but I just stay in for Luminami. I think what I end up does happening is I go into Dragon the next turn, because that Parasitize is actually doing a lot for some odd reason. Now, what I actually misplay here, I should have remembered that C.B.O does have Quick Punch. I completely forgot about this Loomian because this Loomian is honestly pretty irrelevant. So, okay, but they counter stance, which is like, okay, I guess. And then I end up Draco Beaming here. I don't really care about Chienta swapping in again. So Parasitize comes out. What do I do here? Do I Slumber? Okay, I Egg Storm because really no point. I can just kill this now. And then I Egg Storm again. Counter stance. Good thing I did not click Draco Beam because I think that would have killed me if it counter stanced me. Right, there we go. Chienta is now up. I decided to sack this because it really can't swap in again because of Icicle Traps. It would have been funny if it lived the Mega Punch though. I don't think I have the investment. So I was debating Hunter or Luminami here. I figured that Luminami would be a little bit better because I didn't really want to risk the Chienta being very nimble because apparently those are things now. And then Brawn Boost. Here we go. Brawn Boost. Kind of scary actually. So 2-hit KOs my Seer at this point. And then what they end up doing here. This is really funny. So I planned to sack the Florant. It's like, okay, frick it. If we're gonna have to come down to the speed tie, I'm coming down to the speed tie. So they wait out the turn for more things. And they Brawn Boost twice. And they let me kill them. Now, the play here, I guess, was to Brawn Boost twice and Light Dash. If they weren't like a very nimble Chienta, in which case it does help out for me. So alright, so the next round is up against Shadow Wolf the Gamer. Admittedly, Florant actually does have some niches here. It helps stop the Holly Bunch and the Dakuda. It helps a little bit with the Umbrat, not too much though. Not really trying to match that up. So I end up leading Behemoth. I wanted to really bring Luminami so badly, or I wanted to bring Seer Knight actually, but I don't think I end up bringing it. It's my Drudge Up set that I've been using for a little bit. So I go Behemoth, predicting the Maraith lead, because if most teams are running Maraith as their lead because Shatter just stacks damage. So Typhoon comes in, and I got the predict right. I didn't want to click Earthquake simply because this just comes in for free if I do. And then, nice. So I go Luminami here just for safety. Holly Bunch comes out, which is kind of concerning. Not too much though, because I have Florant. So Peace of Mind. I actually never knew it got that, but I was debating on the Parasitize or the Mega Chomp. I think during this time, me and my friend that were like doing this match, like he was saying Shade Pearl, so I clicked Parasitize for the safety. Admittedly, I should just went Mega Chomp because I just outsped the Holly Bunch, so I can just punish it. So what does end up happening is it does live this, and then I really wanted to Mega Chomp. So, but looking at their team, I don't think that was like the best play for me. They go Behemoth, which I guess good chip for me. I don't know why they specifically went this. I do pretty well against Behemoth, but I'm not going to take any more chip than I have to on Florant. So I Photosynthesis, they Holly Bunch. Admittedly a pretty weird play because I already outright stopped Behemoth, but whatever. Doesn't really care. So what could come out? Not really caring too much. I just rest here. I can just heal off their damage. It does a little bit too much than I would want it to do, but it doesn't matter. So Florant gets a head start off. What comes in is most likely the... Oh, okay, so they brought the Kuda in, which at the time I was very confused. Because I guess the best answer for them was Rev9, which, spoiler alert, that they did not bring the whole match for some reason. Rev9 actually goes in on my team, but whatever. So they dodged a Parasitize. I think I Parasitize again. Expecting, what, the new Typhoon to come in. I didn't want to waste my soul move on this, and I already kill it. So there we go. The Typhoon is now dead. And then, what comes in again? So, Typhoon and Holly Bunch are dead. Wraith, I think, is alive. So, I got Loveful for it. We're good. And then, Wraith comes in. I don't think I stay in. I think I go Dregadin. I don't really care about the hazards up. It's kind of too late for them to set this up right now. Because the match is already too far gone in my favor. So, I'll just Draco Beam. It's a 3 KO, but whatever. Okay, that did a lot. So I Draco Beam and I missed. So I lived the next Reflection Burst, and then I Slumber, and I lived the Shadow Sprint. Like, we were dying when I did this play. That was honestly so funny. Then they go Dakuda here. I debated staying in, but whatever. I went Behemoth because they potentially could waste their soul move. They didn't, but there you go. And I'm pretty sure Earthquake just kind of cleans. At least for Behemoth. Behemoth boots, as much as I beam on it, and think that the regular version is much better, like bulk up 3 attacks, I personally would run boots just because if I were gonna run a Behemoth that wants to do damage, then I just go Colossotraps any day of the week. So they go Dakuda here. Very questionable. I rest, because I don't know why. I rested for the Florant. Yeah, I rested for the Florant. So I'm now in. Parasitize, I couldn't use it anymore. I Carnivorous into Wraith, which admittedly, sure, I don't really care. I get some HP drainage. And then Dakuda comes in. I was debating on a swap, but I just wait out the turn. Electroblast, the funny animation move. I'm pretty sure something funny happened here. Okay, not yet. You'll see later. So Parasitize, very clear. I can just Parasitize and win here. So they Thunder Strike. Parasitize, get most of my HP back. Not too much, but enough to win. So I click Photosynthesis here for the extra safety here. I'm pretty sure I can lose this if I did not click Photosynthesis and then what critted. Alright, so then Thunder crit, and Paralyze. So very unnecessary stuff here. I could have got Paralyzed so much, but thank God I didn't. Parasitize now comes out again. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter here. I just Parasitize till I can't. Thunderstrike. I was so scared of the Parasitize. My RNG has been so bad as of late, but we managed to pull through with a 4-0. Florant getting a couple of KOs. Alright, so our next matchup is against Culpipoo, which is another player that honestly had a lot of great matchups against me. Tatab and Dragodin goes in on my team. I need to play my ass off in order to actually stop Dragodin. My Seer Knight is not clever, so I cannot really answer that. So concerning here, I wanted to lead off with the Metatoad mainly because of, I think I was scared of a Tatab lead or something. Of course, Your Snack comes in. Honestly, if I wasn't Health Amulet, I would stay in on this Your Snack, but sucks to suck, I guess. So I was debating on Dragodin or the Loveful. I of course went Florant because I could go Dragodin and apply a little bit more pressure, but I didn't want to lose my item just yet, and Parasitize kind of looks pretty free on their team. Seer Knight, they should have brought it on this swap. I don't know why they didn't bring it per se. I guess my team was kind of too unfriendly against it, specifically with the Behemoth, Hunder, and all of that. So I go Metatoad here. My line of thinking here was Metatoad already takes like a forward KO from Ice Hammer. It doesn't matter what they do, I'm just gonna swap in. They Body Crash, which cool play. I was debating on Psycho Blasting because I was kind of afraid of the Dragoning, not the Dragoning, the whatever. I should have just Psycho Blast. I don't know why. So I get Loveful in again. I wanted to Mega Jump so bad, but whatever. It didn't really matter in the end. So your snack comes in. Another wall for the Loveful. I kind of struggle with this a little bit. I have Dragonin though, so I should be fine. I of course went Dragonin to stop the possible Baffle. And here, I was fearing the Eclipse because, in case you didn't know, my team is kind of very bad against Eclipse other than Florant, but anyways, I guess that's fine. I went into Behemoth expecting it, so there you go. I wanted to Timber Thrash so bad because I knew Dragonin was going to come in. I of course became a pussy and I clicked the wrong move. So now I couldn't even stop Dragonin, but I guess this does give me a little bit more freedom with the Loveful. More screen time, even though it's literally going to have Tundrelin come in once again. Didn't really care. The Florant here is mainly baiting matchups for the Metatoad at this point. This is like the most that Florant is going to be doing here. So what I end up going is do I go Dragonin? No, I go Metatoad. Metatoad against their team, I guess looking right now is looking pretty solid. I didn't want to make the same mistake again, so what I do end up doing is I just cave in and I Psycho Blast. Your snack here was a very questionable play. I would just went Iguana if that were me. So I OHKO at this range, so there really wasn't any chore for me to swap or anything like that. So the Loveful is kind of freed up a little bit. For some reason, I was debating on this, even though it's like the most freest swap ever. So what happens here is I photo. I could have Carnivorous for safety. I don't know why I didn't. So then I went Hunder here because I thought they would. Yeah, so they rested here. I thought they were gonna use Draco Beam, but whatever. So I Vice Jaws. I Vice Jaws specifically for the Tundrelin. It doesn't really matter what the Dragonin did to me at this point. It was just a very safe play for me. Tatab comes in, which is very scary against my team, but what I end up doing is really funny. So actually Tatab, if it does click Timber Thrash, is just dead the following turn, because nothing really wanted to take a Timber Thrash hit, but of course, being the recoil, Tatab kills itself. So at least we're a little bit more freed up at this point. We're a 5-3 score right now. Dragonin was a threat to say the least. I could have went the Loveful, but I think the Loveful was too KO'd at this range, and Peace of Mind Dragonin was something I do not want to talk about. So I end up Vice Jaws again, predicting this Tundrelin to come in. So the Tundrelin is now dead, or close to being dead. What I could go is I go Dragonin. Now, smart play is that they do click the Ice Hammer. Ultimately, it would not matter though. I think I just clicked Draco Beam and that's the end of that. At this point, I wasn't fearing the Eclipse too much. They should have brought it, I don't know why, but doesn't matter. So Dragonin on Dragonin. I was really debating Loveful over the Hunder, predicting their eggs or their Draco Beam, but I just Draco Beam. I was gonna sack this, and then what I end up going is I preserve the Dragonin for the 4-0. I go Hunder here. At this point, I wasn't fearing anything. Hunder kind of just cleans the endgame. Of course, I click Chili Chomp, because I wasn't sure if Vice Jaws killed at that range, but it didn't really matter too much. And then their last was Iguana, so then I just went Florant. And then I just win at this rate, because Iguana can't really touch me. So yeah, that's pretty much the showcase. Alright, so that's the Loveful showcase. And honestly, I had some other matches where, of course, that weren't in the showcase. This was just a compilation of matches that it did pretty well against. And I guess the only thing that I can really go over is concerns that I have about Florant and the team composition. So I'll go about teams here. My friend helped me build this. And of course I suggested a little bit of stuff here, but the main synergy of this core is specifically the Seer Knight or the Tundulin and Obsidian swap-ins being covered by Metatoad here, and then stuff like Seer Knight and I'm pretty sure other metals that wants to swap in on the Parasitize is going to be covered by Behemoth. I do not have a Nimble Behemoth, so I just end up using a Boots one, and this was already fully sharded or mostly anyway. And then I had to pick up the remains of what's left. This core, or it's kind of uncomfortable against your snack. I can't really swap it in directly. So Dragadin is here. It also does struggle a bit with Vesperatu. Kinda, not too much. And mainly Ursul. I'm mainly worried about Ursul when considering these four. And then what I wanted to come was Seer Knight. This was mainly just to be a funny man. I did not want to run Pyrelin because who wants to run passive? So I brought Seer Knight on here. It also helps a little bit better against Nevermare, which admittedly it doesn't really care about against this team because I got the Loveful. Range Nami, I wanted to run melee, but I really loved the fact of Frost Beam and my ignore the TPs, it's just hell, but or the UPs, but I really like the fact that I could just 2-hit KO Nevermares with Frost Beam, specifically with Smart, and what's left is Hunter here. I wanted to run Very Nimble, specifically for Chienta, because I didn't like Luminami being my only thing for it. Zulong was also another thing for this team, which struggles heavily against. Metatoad was like my best answer, and yeah, and I guess Boots Behemoth, which again helps with the revenge killing aspect. This mainly was like my secondary revenge killer. So yeah, mainly concerns about this team is the fact that no hazard removal. Yeah, other than this, which admittedly it does have like some good matchups against some hazard setters or some hazard removers or setters, but this team kind of struggles with hazards a bit. I of course wanted to play offensively, so frick it, we just ball without it. Metatoad mainly for Zulong, so some concerns other than that is the Zulongs and Colossotrops again, but it goes for any team. Joltooth kind of just goes in once Florant gets like pretty low, but yeah, this is the team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed about this video. I'm going to be doing more showcases in the future, hopefully, but yeah, this is Connor Stoops signing off to remind you that Zulong is still a dumpster fire.